Hello and welcome. My name is Mike Rambuia, and welcome to another Digimon TCG video. Though this one's going to be kind of more of a Digimon TCG wish list video, kind of cards I was hoping we introduce into the game. And cards from the game Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Kind of wish there was more representation of it. We had the three main characters introduced in BT5, and I enjoyed some representation. I was like, oh, sweet. Maybe in future sets, we'll get more. As we approach the release of BT17 here in the States and BT20 worldwide in Japan we still haven't got any more. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about mostly tamer cards, a few Digimon cards from Digimon Cyber Sleuth that I would like to see introduced into the game, and probably some very poorly written mechanics, but I'll let the pros and some game designers tell me in the comments how bad of an idea and how broken some of these mechanics are. But for now, let's get into it. But first, I will give the general warning of spoilers in this video will happen. As we will talk about certain things that happen in the game. I know the game is uh, older; it's been out for a while, but some people still haven't played it. The complete edition is a great way to grab it. You get both games for a decent price, and it always seems to go on sale, especially on Steam and on Nintendo Switch. So if you haven't picked it up yet, I think it's actually well, it was on sale in Canada this past week, but always keep an eye out for it and give it a shot. I think you will enjoy it. So, as I said before, when BT5 came out, Battle of Omni, it gave us three characters from Digimon Cyber Sleuth. It gave us Arata Sanada, who was a very focused Diaboromon support teamer, which that was one of my first. That was has been my favorite deck I've built, and I'm kind of glad in the past couple sets we got a little bit more support for it. So I am very excited to play Diaboromon again. Next we had Takumi Aba, which is the male version of the main character you can play. Uh, it would have been kind of cool to have like a female alt art of the main character, but this is fine. Since it's your main character, you really don't have a Digimon partner to type to or build an archetype around, and so him kind of just be, hey, when a level 3 Digimon, say when they attack, they lose one. A great way to beat Rookie Wush, with I don't think is really seen as much here in modern settings, but maybe in the past we'll see it again soon. Uh, Lastly, we had Nokia Shiramani. So she played very well into the Omnimon playstyle, as her partner in the game was an Agumon and a Gabumon that then evolved into a Omnimon, and so not super strong. Honestly, I don't know if it's used in any Omnimon deck, but it's an option there. So, without further ado, We'll go through CyberSleuth characters, and then we'll go through Hacker Memory characters, and then we'll end with a special set of characters and possible Digimon that kind of be interesting to see. So we're going to first start with Fei Wong. I know that's not her full name, but I just shorten it. So Fei Wong was a hacker in the game. Her main partner, at least the one I've always tied her to, was Tiger Vespamon. So this would have introducing her and Tiger Vesmon or MBT5 kind of would have been interesting, or in a set previous to that, because Tiger Vesmon technically is a cyborg, so it would have done well in a Machine Dramon deck. But now, as we're getting an entire Queen's Hive, Vespamon, Fan Beamon deck coming, now maybe a good time to add Fei Wong. So kind of go with those colors. I would put her in the black-green color scheme. She would just have an on-play effect that allows you to look at the top 4 of the deck to pick either a Tiger Vestimon or a Cyber Digimon. The rest go to the bottom of the deck. Um, because of her ties to Hugo and Yuko, if they are in play, spend this tamer to give a Digimon Defender. Uh, Kind of the right hand man for Yuko for most of the game. So I figure it would kind of be interesting to add a mechanic that kind of talks about that a bit or kind of explores that a bit. Next, we'll talk to another hacker and Jimikin. Main partner was Boltmon, and it would have been interesting to introduce him into the series as well as a new series of red, purple Marimon, blue Marimon, Skull Marimon, and Boltmon. Boltmon's mainly purple black, but I feel like since a lot of the Skull Marimon and the other Marimon cards are in red purple, it'd be kind of nice to add Boltmon to red purple as well, just to kind of create a more cohesive uh, deck archetype. So we'll make Jimikin, excuse me, red purple to match those. On play effect, reveal the top 4, add a Digimon with Boltmon or a Digimon with Marimon in the name to your hand. And then can suspend when one of your Digimon devolve into Boltmon to lower the cost by 2 or something like that. Yeah, no, just kind of a fun way to maybe create a new deck archetype from a Digimon that doesn't see much action in the TCG. Or in the kind of the series itself. I kind of enjoy Boltmon's design. I really enjoy the Marimon line as well. So maybe just a thought. Just a thought, Bandai. Maybe Boltmon Architect coming soon. Wishful thinking. Next, we're going to talk about Kyoko Kurimi. So in the game, Kyoko, and I'll talk about this more when we get to that to a later section. But basically, the Kyoko's mind gets separated from her body, and so an Alphamon kind of takes over. Well, I don't want to say takes over, but basically kind of inhabits the body for the point as they're investigating what's going on with the link between the human world and the digital world. So she'd be a black tamer, or in the black color scheme. Tamer effects, on play reveal top 5, add 1 Alphamon and 1 card with X Antibody trait to your hand. Then, while she's on the field and you play an Alphamon, you can delete that Tamer to reduce the play cost by 5. I know it doesn't necessarily work well with the X Antibody decks because they are definitely a archetype that really likes their stack. And by stack, I mean a lot of Digivolutions under a Digimon, but maybe a card that could be introduced to be kind of a more focus tamer for a Royal Knight set. I don't think there are not a lot of tamers really focus on helping the Royal Knight cards, so I think this would be a very interesting one to have. On the same scales, Rei Kiyoshibi, kind of same thing. Mind got separated from the body, and Lord Nightmon, who was also kind of investigating, but also a little angry at the humans for what they did, or blaming the humans for this connection between, or this collision between the human world and the, excuse me, and the digital world. And so, kind of the same effects. I would putting them in the yellow-purple color scheme, mainly because that's what Lord Nightmon or Crusadamon. Lord Nightmon is what I seen in TCG, so that's the name I'm using. But most of them are yellow and purple, so I would probably just stick with that to keep with the scheme. Definitely more lean on the Royal Knight side of when playing a Digimon with the Royal Knight trait. I can spend this tamer to lower the cost by 4. I know in the Royal Knight deck that's already kind of a thing to play those cards for cheaper or for free, but this was maybe early in-game tamer to use. And of course, when playing a Lord Nightmon, can be deleted to lower the cost by 6. So again, more an opportunity to give the Royal Knights more tamers specifically, maybe that can help them out. The last duo we're going to talk about that originally introduced in Cyber Sleuth is Yuko and Hugo Kimishiro. Now, technically in the game, for most of the part, Yuko is both characters. She impersonates her brother with more of a white hair when she is in the cyberspace area. But it gets revealed, and she kind of gains her own Digimon partner. So her main Digimon partner ended up being Gaiamon, and Yugo's main partner was Machinedramon. So interesting. I wanted to kind of make a pair set of tamers, which isn't, which I think really only Matt in. Well, I mean, we have like the duo tamers, so like the Davis and Ken cards when you have two tamers on one. Uh, this would definitely more match into separate tamers that benefit when they're both on the field. So Yuko would be black-red to go with Gaiamon's theme, and Yugo would be black-white, mainly to go with, the Ghost Boy type thing, and to aid in machine decks because most of them are black. The black color wheel. Tamer effects both would have an on-play effect, reveal the top four, and add one Dragonkin or one machine, and whichever would be less game-breaking or less annoying, or machine to your hand, bottom deck the rest. Yuko, when a Digimon with Dragonkin trait attacks, can be suspended to give. She could be suspended to give piercing, and if there's a Hugo on the field, when you suspend this tamer, it also will give piercing and jamming. Piercing basically allows you to. So if you were attacking, so you make a security attack and you have a defender, a Digimon with defender pop up, and it would block your attack, you still can make a security check. And jamming protects you from security mon. And Hugo would be the opposite. When a machine with a Digimon with a machine trait attacks, you suspend it to give it jamming, and if Yuko is in play, you would then give it also piercing. There's probably better effects to give them, but it's kind of the theme I was going with, like having them both on a field, it's going to be more beneficial, and it kind of be very interesting duo tamer deck to build around. So now we're moving on to Hacker Memory introduced characters. Or start with the main character you get to play as Kurasuke Amishawa. Excuse me. So he's the main character. He's the player character, so his partners or whoever. And similar to Abba, will make him in the white color scheme. I'll make him a memory setter to 3 because a little bit more usefulness. And on play, reveal the top 5, add 1 tamer to your hand. I feel like in Hacker's Memory, there was definitely more focus on like the human relationships rather than the Digimon, or at least the human, more of the human side of the game. And so I feel like, hey, a tamer that then can search for another tamer is very interesting, and I figure kind of more fits that the main character's kind of focus in Hacker's Memory. And the bond he has with Hoodie characters. So could go in multiple decks. Could go in decks with Hoodie members, but yeah, I could probably give a benefit if they had the Hoodie trait. If we make like a Hoodie deck in the future, not holding my breath, but it'd be pretty cool, Bandai. A Hoodie deck. Next Hoodie member we're going to talk about is Chitosi Ima. Main partners were Akilamon and Angimon. So of course it's going to be in the blue, yellow, as most of the colors are in there. I know, because that will even cover the yellow black we're seeing with the Akilamon and Armadillomon that were introduced due to the new movie and Beginning Observer. Effects pretty simple. When Digimon would digivolve into Akilamon or Angimon, I can spend this tamer to then get an Akilamon or Angimon on the field at a reduced play cost, and then DNA digivolve into Shakuamon. So another tamer to kind of help that deck. Give Cody and TK a little bit more support. Probably one of my favorite characters in the game. But yeah, no, different support for kind of our architect that's a newer architect that's kind of being established. Next, we'll talk about Erika Mishima. So her partner ended up being a Warmon, even though she really didn't leave her room too often. Kind of matching some other things we've seen in past. I'll make her a white-green color scheme tamer. Probably could be straight green, if I'm being 100% honest. If we go more, this would be a spoiler, but we could make her a hybrid tamer, so that means she could be digivolved, and specifically more just to kind of more tie down into Hoodie-mon specifically, as if it was a level 3 Digimon. When we talk about Hoodie-mon next, I'll kind of go more over what I was kind of thinking. So on play, we'll just reveal the top 4, add Warmon and Hoodie-mon to your hand, and it will gain inheritable since you can digivolve. So you can digivolve from it. When attacks, event one of your other Digimon to give it plus 2,000 DP. Next, we'll talk about Hoodie-mon itself. So Hoodie-mon would be a level 4 because it's technically champion level. We'll stick with green-white. 3 regular Digivolving cost, 2 if you're Digivolving from Erika Mishima as like a hybrid. I did think about also making it a Digicross between Warmon and Erika and reducing the cost there, so we would get a new Warmon that's more specific to Hoodie-mon to gain benefits of that. It's kind of what I was thinking. We'll let those who are better at card design tell me how stupid of an idea this is. But we'll give it a win attacking if there is a suspended Digimon, gain jamming, and then when this Digimon is deleted, we'll play either a Wormmon or Erika from its Digivolution cards. Kind of will create this weird loop of suspend, rather than do multiple security decks like we see in the Alliance decks. More just protect it from security Digimon, and if for some odd reason it does get deleted, we'll just throw Erika back on the field, activate Erika's on play effect, and then hopefully grab another Hoodie-mon and just Digivolve and then go back on the offensive. It's kind of what I was thinking with this. Ryuji Mishima, her brother, so ended up main Digimon being Arcadiamon. Arcadiamon is more of an aggro Mon type deal, same name throughout all stages. We'll talk about it more next. But for color wise, I'll probably throw him in the purple white color scheme, maybe solid purple, because it holding about Arcanimon's about deleting humans and Digimon in the game, and that's very purple of we want to benefit from deleting stuff. So when we play this tamer, reveal the top 4, add 1 card with Arcadiamon in its name to your hand, and then on deletion, return 1 Arcadiamon from the trash to your hand. That's kind of what I'm thinking with this deck. So next, we'll actually talk about Arcadiamon itself. So like I said before, Arcadiamon is similar to Agromon, and it goes, same name, but it goes across, as you can see. Even has a level 7 or an Ultra form. We'll probably keep it purple-white. We may just make it solid purple because of its on-deletion effects. One thing I do want it to gain is when attacking, either deletes a Tamer or a Digimon to gain jamming. And if for some odd reason we do delete a Ryuji, sorry, it will gain a security attack +1. So it'll do 2 checks of 1. The only thing I can think of is maybe for the Mega and the 7, if when attacking, if I don't have a Ryuji on the field, or that might even be more of a champion ultimate skills, if when attacking to those of adding Ryuji from the trash back to your hand or on the field again, just so you can kind of do the cycle of trashing him, gain security attack, putting him back on the field. I know that'd be weird, but given how in the game he definitely just wanted to delete everything, I figure it'd be good. That's why I kind of put in the purple color scheme as well, because there's a lot of on deletion cards in purple that can be benefited. Oh, I'm going to delete this. I gain a benefit, and I gain jamming, so I'm protected from your security, Digimon. And also, this has kind of been a cool line to introduce to the series, because I like these kind of unique archetypes we have, like Argomon and Galacticmon and stuff like that. So now we're going to enter kind of a mix of both CyberSleuth and Hacker's Memory, but we're more really going to fix on the Eaters. So the Eaters in the game were a digital threat that were causing the syndrome to where, like, if they were, so for those who don't know, Eden was a way you can basically put your mind into cyberspace and experience it that way. And there was these Eaters who, if they attacked you and ate your digital self, your body would then go into coma. Akemi Pseudo was kind of a scientist who was exploring this, and so we'll make him put in the white color scheme. We give him a tamer effect at the start of the turn. If there is an Eater in play, gain 1 memory. When a Eater is played, you can suspend this tamer to gain rush on it, and when he gets deleted, return an Eater from your trash to your hand. So he was very fascinated with the Eaters. At one point, he merges with one of the Eaters to become something even more. Yeah, so Pseudo, very interesting guy, and very unique tamer to add to what kind of would be an interesting Eaters architect, similar to kind of like the D Reaper architect that we got in EX2. Next, we'll get a different version of Artara Sanada. This will be his Eater form. So in the game, he begins to fuse with the Eaters. So he'll have nothing to do with the Abormon, but we'll put him in the white color scheme. We'll give him an on-play effect that he can delete and Artara Sanada, a non-Eater one, to then lower his play cost by 2. So probably make him a 5-cost tamer. He specifically can be deleted to lower the play cost of Eater Adam, which we'll talk about the Eaters here soon. Eater Adam was a very specific one that was created from all the Eater data fusing with Arta. And so specifically Eater Adam. I thought about kind of making like a weird hybrid, but since the Eaters are more about like totally consuming, I figured it didn't quite work that well. So we specifically made him Eater Adam. When he's deleted, you return an Eater from your trash to your hand. I figured these two tamers definitely need to have like on deletion effects because of what the Eater's effects are going to mainly focus on, of deleting things to help get on the field. Speaking of which, the last group we'll talk about for this video is the Eaters themselves. So there's a slew of Eaters here. I did not include Eater Eve because I didn't want you to mad at me. So these will be white, in the white color scheme, similar to the D Reapers. So your purebreds and your humanoid D Reapers would definitely have this effect of lowering the play costs by 3 if you delete a Digimon or a Tamer. Eater Bit was something that was created by Erica in Hacker's Memory as like cameras, but then she lost control of them and they ended up making Eater Legion. And so Eater Bit would definitely be used as a deck searcher. So when you play it, you reveal the top 4 cards, add Eaters to your hand. Then it would be nice to link it to Eater Legion because that's a bunch of those Eater Bits becoming Eater Legion in the game. So maybe for every Eater Bit you delete, you lower the cost of Eater Legion, or you make Eater Legion a Digicross. Actually, probably better to make Eater Legion a Digicross evolution, and for every Eater Bit, and we'll do maybe a max of 3, you lower the cost by 2 or 3. Eater Legion it's just a combination of Eater Bites. So there's that. Eater Adam and Mother Eater were kind of the big bads. Um, Eater Adam kind of gains a benefit of uh, maybe when it attacks, if you don't have a Atara Eater on your field, you can play one, or maybe recover one from your trash when it attacks. Mother Eater, I don't want to treat it like D Reaper Mother and put in the eggs, put it as an egg. I want to put it out there as like a top tier of it can um, absorb the other Eaters, become more powerful, and then you have Eater Eden, which is just this massive also boss. Mother Eater and Eater Eden, I feel like need to be like the big bosses of giving the other Eaters benefits, or the number of Eaters you have on the field, give them benefits as well. So if I have for every Eater, or Eaters get like an additional 2000 DP or gain jamming, rush, piercing, whatever. The interesting thing that Eaters I would like to do is like for every time, make them definitely more like a board clearing deck archetype, to where like every time they delete a Digimon, they gain X amount, like 1000 DP, and that'll be until the end of your opponent's next turn, so that way they kind of collect that. Um, I definitely feel like it would be broken if you just allow them to keep deleting, 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 and getting more powerful and powerful. But yeah, so that is what I have for now. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any other ideas for cards to give Digimon Cyber Sleuth or Hacker's Memory more representation, I would enjoy seeing in the comments down below. I do apologize for this more rambling video, but I don't know. I kind of like doing these rambling videos, just kind of just throwing my thoughts out there and seeing what sticks. But until next time, stay safe, enjoy your games, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.